This is Your Own Best Company, a podcast for people who love to work alone. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Your Own Best Company. This is a podcast for people who love to work alone. My name is Franklin Taggart, and this podcast was my idea. My guest today is someone that I think you're really going to enjoy hearing from. Linda Eskridge is a gifting specialist, and we're going to get into what that means. But before we go there, we're going to learn that Linda had 20 plus years as an executive assistant in corporate worlds. She started Couture Business Gifting when she noticed that the unforgettable gesture of gifting could be used as a powerful tool to enhance customer experience and sales in every business sector. The Couture business name comes from her admiration of her mother and her mother's impeccable talent for designing upscale couture dresses for well-to-do women. Proud of her mother, she wanted to carry on the legacy of couture in the name of her very own business. She has a new family member, a 12-week-old chocolate lab. Now, it's been a couple of weeks since you sent this, so 14 weeks now.
Mm-hmm. He's asleep in his cage, so fingers crossed.
Oh, very good. She has two kids in university, one kid at the University of Arizona and one who's a freshman in high school. Linda, I'm excited to talk with you because the subject of our conversation today is one of my favorites, and it's one that I've actually been a proponent of for many years, going back even decades. And that is the whole idea of gifting as a part of your business, marketing, relationship building, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's right.
I'm really curious how you saw this opportunity unfold for yourself.
So it was back in 2019. A friend of mine who owns the Gift Basket Association had connected with me and said, "Hey, I really need your help. Can you come work for me?" And I said, "Great, I would love to." And when I got in there and I started just seeing, the different things that, baskets that were coming through, and I thought, you know what, I can do this. I can do it a little bit better. And I want to do this because I have a creative soul in me, and this is a great way to be creative. So I told her I want to start my own business. She was excited and never turned back. Here I am today. And now I really take my gifting business, but I really am teaching my clients just the importance of relationship building and building that relationship into your marketing plan and having that relationship plan for your prospects, for your clients, even for your employees. It's not just about the thank you anymore, but it's really the whole cycle that you can use gifting in for those clients and prospects.
Now, were you still in your corporate job when you started working with the baskets and the gifting, or was that something that happened? There was a little bit of time in between.
There was. So I was working, kind of the backstory, when I was an executive assistant and I was trying to find gifts for my bosses, it was hard to deal with the vendors, getting something that was within budget, on time, that didn't look like we had gone to the dollar store and picked something out. And it was, we really struggled with that, finding that element. And so that was also something that I brought into my business is I know where these executive assistants are coming from. I know the struggle that you have and how I want to be that point person that they don't have to worry about. You give me a budget, we're going to be within that budget. You're going to have something that's couture and beautiful. And you're not going to have to worry about it not being there on time. So I had my children when I was later in life, so I did not want to work in corporate anymore. So I took, in 2009, I started my own virtual assistant business. Still the same issue, trying to find gifts for my clients, and then when we moved, that was in San Jose, California. When we moved here to Arizona, I kind of sold that my VA business off, and I wanted to start something new. So that was when I was working for a few startups, and then I found my girlfriend, and, we connected, and that's kind of where it is. And I really put the value in me of really being that point person for corporate, for the small businesses. So first of all, they don't have to struggle with it. They don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I going to get something that looks like, my 5-year-old put it together? But there's really passion and in how I present it to them.
You basically, you started this after you'd started having children. You were, well past your corporate career. You were taking some of the knowledge that you had gained as an executive assistant and as a VA, and you started to notice that this was a repeating pattern. People need gifts, and this is something that I'm doing with some frequency.
Yes.
And then the basket opportunity came along. That's, how timely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How did you initially find people to serve?
I started networking. I just started networking. And then I really started honing down, really who are the people I want to serve, and, where do they, hang out? And that's really where I started going. And I started building the relationships with these people, and, really getting that sense of, that trust in them, and them wanting me to then give to do their gifts. But it was really learning where the people I wanted to serve hang out, and then going there and building the trust and the relationship. It was all about the relationship. And through the time, I'm like, you know what? It's really about building that relationship marketing into your whole business, and how important that is, because giving something to someone that has your company name on it isn't as meaningful as listening to them and saying, yeah, every week, I get together with my friends, and we, shoot pool, or, we do, whatever it is, listening to that, and then going and getting them a gift that represents that, or something that they could use during that weekly time that they spend with their friends or family, is going to allow them, it's going to put you in the top of their mind so much more than just getting, oh, I got a t-shirt with your name on it, thank you so much. And it's really teaching. And there's a time and a place for that. And there's a time and a place for giving someone a gift that you want them to remember you by, so that you will stand out in the crowd. And it's figuring out, and that's what I help my clients, is figuring out, do you want them to be your walking promotional advertisement for free, or do you want to really create that relationship and bond to do business with them? And it's really, figuring that out, because there is, like I said, time and place for both. And I'm more on, let's figure out, let's create something unique. Let's create something that is going to wow them, and that they're going to, every time they see you, they're always going to mention it.
So here's a mug with my logo on it, and it's full of pens with my logo on it. And here's a sticky notepad with my logo on it.
Yep. And there's a time and a place for that, but it's not all the time.
Trade shows is a good place for that, right?
Yes.
But now we're talking about actually building legitimate, real relationships with clients.
Yes.
Now,
And
In your experience, what have you learned about, first of all, how do you discover what these clients really like and what would they respond to? How do you go about finding that out?
conversation, really having conversations with them and finding out what are their likes, what are they not, not liking, and, really, listening. I think that's the key, listening and taking away just a couple, really key nuggets of that conversation, and then creating what they're wanting. And sometimes what they're saying to me, what they want, and what they're really, when I'm listening to them, what they're wanting are two different things. So I have on occasion said, hey, this is what you said you wanted, but when I was listening to you, I really think this is what you were wanting. And 10 out of 10 times they're all like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I wanted. But it was just about listening to them.
Can,
And
can you give us an example of a situation
yeah.
where you learned something like that from a real nice conversation?
So I just recently had a client and they were like, oh yeah, just put together, I want something nice, but they can't do this and they can't do that. And and I want, and maybe we can put something with my logo on it. And I was like, okay. So then we started talking and she goes, this is a really important client. And I really want to, kind of knock it out of the park with them. And, they kind of like upper scale things. And so the first thing I ask is, what's your budget? Well, what's your budget? Because that's going to denote how nice we can go. What she was saying she wanted was on the lower end, but what she was really wanting was something to blow them out of the water. And so I said, what's the budget? They told me the budget. And I said, okay, let me go back. They were non-drinkers, so she didn't want alcohol. But they loved to snack and they loved this. So she was like, maybe you can just make a snack box. What I created for them was I have a custom box that had I put in a non-alcoholic sparkling wine in it. And I created a complete charcuterie board with a charcuterie plate. It even has a one of the cookbooks on it to create this. And it blew her out of the water because she goes, this is what I wanted. But that's what I said, because I was listening to what you said. And this is a high-end client who doesn't drink. So we're not going to give them wine. We're not going to give them, and I can't sell wine. I don't have a license. So that will never be part of my gifting that I do. But I can do the non-alcohol, and statistics and surveys have come out recently. The same, most people want non-alcoholic gifts or non-alcoholic, sparkling wines, because they're not positive sometimes with their clients or their employees drink. And this way, they can create a cocktail or a mocktail, whichever one they want. So it blew her out of the water because I really listened to, this is a high-end client that she's trying to impress.
Just out of curiosity, what was the price range for that gift?
About between $125, $150. And
And
so
what was she hoping to accomplish with it?
she wanted to say thank you to them for allowing her. She had done some work for them, so she wanted to thank them, but she also wanted to create another avenue and build more of a relationship, because she wanted to do more business with them. So from that, we put her on a strategic gifting campaign where every quarter we're sending him something, so that it kind of, and it's not, and it's something that he can enjoy. It's something that he likes, because she really started telling me, well, he really likes this and he likes to do this in his off time. And so that's what these gifts are created. He loves to golf. So, we're creating something around golfing, but something that every time it'll build upon what we've given before.
Well, that brings another question to my mind, and that is that I'm thinking of Goldilocks and the Three Bears here. How much is too much? How little is too little? And how much is just right?
So, it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. And honestly, the bottom line, it is your budget, because someone that's just starting out who really wants to create a campaign is most likely not going to be able to afford a $200 gift for 10 clients, but they might be able to afford a $50 gift. So it depends on you, where you are in your whole growth process, your business, and what can you afford? Because we can make a beautiful $50 gift just as much as we can make a $200, $300 gift. And it spans anywhere. So honestly, it's about you, your business, and what can you afford.
I know a lot of folks who give away like sporting event tickets and cultural event tickets and, all kinds of different free passes and stuff like that to different experiences. Is that something that you include in some of your gifts?
I can. I have done research on some, we went a different route, but yeah, I can do stuff like I can research, find out, what that is, and we can do that. Another thing that I always try, teach my clients is don't forget those gatekeepers. Don't forget their family. Don't forget, because those people have way more influence. I learned this from the beginning when I was listening to some things on a podcast. And I thought, that is so true. These people know that person the best. And if you bring them into that experience, you're going to get a lot further, because that gatekeeper is going to open the door for you.
Is there any point where that gets creepy?
Well, if you're stalking them, I think, there has to be a happy medium on it. Yeah. But, for instance, if you know that this client or potential client loves to have weekly game nights with their family, that is Thursday nights, we do game nights, and we do this with our family. We cook a dinner and we do this. Great. Why don't we create a pizza box where they have the pizza dough, you have your sauce, you have utensils in there, and you can put like a box of Uno in there, or you can put another type of game in there. Now you just created not only something that's going to be very thoughtful for that customer, but you've also brought in the whole family to be able to enjoy it and to be able to be a family making that dough, making that pizza that night, and then enjoying the game.
You've just hinted at one of my secret weapons of marketing, and that is that you're finding something that people would be able to use in their life, and probably use it repeatedly, right? So every time that they use that thing, and it may even become an heirloom that gets passed on to future generations, exactly. Right? But the thing is that every time that they use that thing, it's a connection with you, right?
Yes.
I talk to people all the time about even their business card needs to be something that people want to hold on to,
Yes, exactly. Something small that they're going to remember you by.
Yeah.
And so, we can put in the pizza, the French pizza cutter and the pizza roller. So every time they pull that out, they're going to remember who gave it to them. Yeah. Every time they pull out that game, that they played that night, they're going to remember you. And that's truly what I like. My tagline is creating an experience, not just a gift. And that to me is creating that experience for everyone involved.
You started with baskets,
Mhm.
but where has it gone to from there?
I do mostly boxes now because that is the trend, is boxes. I don't even do baskets anymore. If you look out on my website, I don't have baskets. If someone requests one, yes, I can do it. But I am very modern, sleek. I will, if we build a gift that's big, I will tier it up. So then it's really fun for your for the prospect or the client to get, because it's like 3 different gifts. And and each one has something in it. So I have really, and I'm working right now on a candle box, but every time I purchase the candles, a portion of it goes to the sex trafficking organization to help, get our girls off the streets. And I'm very passionate about that. I think, that's a huge thing that we need to, help with. It's bigger than we realize. And so one of my candles that I'm actually working on today, and that I'll be putting out on my site, every time I purchase some of the candles, a portion of it goes back to the organization. So I'm really trying to find gifts and items that there's a cause behind it.
Yeah.
Why are we doing it? Not only can we enjoy the candle, but there's a cause, and there's it kind of like makes you feel better. So I think that's really, not only am I teaching to, build those relationships, but also for me, it's like I'm really trying to find like gifts and items that there's a cause behind.
So it's like, if you're trying to reach somebody who values like the environment, you probably don't want to send them like a coal burning stove or something like that.
Oh,
right?
darn. I was going to do that. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes. And like sustainability. There's tons of gifts out there now that are, about sustainability, and even like mugs and, coffee, the tumblers and stuff. There's so much now that's sustainability. And so I'm really researching right now to bring in some of that, so that it's just, I kind of, everybody, I want to be able to, anyone can come to my site and see. My favorite gifts are the custom gifts. I have the ready made, but really, I love being able to talk with my customers and my clients, find out what their budget is, and then going and creating. That's really what I love to do the most.
If anybody's listening to this right now and you're wondering what to send me,
He likes eyeglasses.
well, yeah, eyeglasses are definitely a part of the repertoire of it. I'm also, the things that I generally appreciate most are things that are fair trade, handmade. I love coffee. And so if you can get me something that was grown in Costa Rica and that's a fine grind, that I can enjoy in a fair trade handmade mug,
You're
you're
there.
right on target.
Yeah. See that right there? That's exactly those are the kind of things I ask and I listen, that most of my customers don't even realize I'm listening to. But then when I go and present the gift, they're all, oh my gosh, I didn't even think you heard me say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just made everybody's job easier. You know what I want, and
Yes.
you know how to get in touch with Linda.
Yes. And next week, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to have all these fair trade, fine ground coffee.
I'll
From
collect
Colombia.
it. Oh my gosh, it'll be great. But that's the thing. It's like I could then feature that in my coffee break every day,
That's right.
in my coffee break videos. So
That's right. Look, I got this. Yeah.
well, there's another question that comes to mind, Linda, and that is like, if you're thinking strategically and if you're thinking kind of progressively, there are different stages of the relationship. And one of the things that I wonder is, let's say that I wanted to create a strategy for gifting. Like you were saying, you've got the client that wants to do repeat business with this person. And so you've created this gift for them. And they're on a subscription with you, which means that they're going to be doing, another round of this next quarter and the quarter after that.
Right.
If we were thinking strategically about a brand new customer relationship, and we were thinking about it like in a 1-year increment, over that year, how would you approach gifting to build that relationship and to maintain it and sustain it?
So I would start from the very beginning. And the very beginning is when that customer is a prospect. And when you're doing your first initial call appointment with them, and it's sending them not an email, a handwritten note telling them, thank you so much. I'm really excited about our appointment next week, or I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for taking the time. Mailing it to them. First off, no one does that. Second of all, it's handwritten. And these days, who does handwritten notes? That's one thing. With all my gifts, they get a handwritten note with them. Then once you've had that gift, that appointment, I would send them something as small as this. It says thank you on it. Inside of it is a cookie and coffee and creamer. It's almost like a Starbucks card, only it's personal because it's a gift. I would mail that to them and say, thank you so much. Once they've started that, they've signed your contract, I would send them something as an appreciation. I'm really excited to get to know you as a person. I'm excited to get, and never make it about, oh, thank you. I'm excited to do business. Yes, but we don't want to make it so it's like we're trying, oh, we just want your money. We really want to create that bond and that relationship, business relationship with that customer. And we also don't want it to be where, oh, they signed the contract here, where's your money? We want them to feel like they've made that the right decision, and they've made the decision that, they're part of the family now. We treat our clients with utmost respect. And then, once the project, like for instance, I'm going to use a realtor. Once that realtor has, at the end of the time, then, give them a nice thank you gift, for, their house or, whatever it might be that the project was at the end. And then set them up on quarterly. So every quarter, it's not that they get a pop by or a small, but you're sending them something that they're going to enjoy. Like I am actually in the process of starting a gifting program where every month I have 4 different gifts that you can choose from. You'll set it all up at the beginning and then it'll just be automatic. But every month you can send out as low as 4 gifts or as many as 13. But setting those clients up on you can set each client up on quarterly, but you can give monthly to your different clients just so that they can keep you in mind. And, hey, how are you doing? On that year anniversary, instead of just like sending them an email, send them a picture of their house in a picture frame with like a towel rolled up with it. Congratulations, you've been in here a year. That's something they're going to remember, something that they can use. They can set it, up. And, but it's building that relationship. So then the next time they, or their friends, their colleagues, they're going to, oh yeah, you need to go with so-and-so. They're amazing. That's kind of how I would set it up. But it needs to start from the beginning.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
When you're putting together, all of these different ideas and the creative things that you package,
Mhm.
Have you formed some important partnerships along the way with certain suppliers?
Yes, I have. I do. I
Who,
have.
what
Um,
what kinds of folks are you partnering with?
I have a candle company. I have they here in Arizona, I have a soap and body company. They make everything here. So that's what I love. It's Arizona. I have food vendors that I work with exclusively. So yeah, I do. And and it's like I'm always researching for new products because I'm the one that doesn't want it to be like something you can go to the store and buy. I want that unique. It might be almonds that are in there, but it's a brand that you're not going to be able to find. And so that's really what I like, the uniqueness of just having different items in there. Not something that you can go to the store and go, oh yeah, I saw that, or oh yeah.
What about things like art or other kinds of artisan craft kinds of
Yep.
things?
I've I have created it was an artist. It was a realtor. She had just sold to an artist and she had a favorite artist. So we went and found a picture and I framed it. And then we found a book that had his stuff in it and kind of some techniques that he used in his painting. And then we bought her a couple brushes and a couple paints. So it kind of was the whole thing, not just the picture, but something that she could also enjoy and, try his techniques and and gave her some brushes and some paint. And she was floored because, again, she listened to what she wanted and it wasn't about her, it was about her client. And I think that's really important. And I think that's where a lot of us miss it. It's all about what we want to give, but what is it that our clients want? And it's, again, I'm back to building that relationship, building the relationship with your clients and understanding who they are and what they want. Because if I gave something, let's say I gave a charcuterie board gift to somebody. Well, I love those. Why wouldn't you love them? Well, I don't like that kind of food. I don't like cheese. I don't like salami. I don't like, that it's not going to go over well with them.
Probably.
Or handing that person the bottle of wine. Oh, here, thanks for the gift. And it's like, great, I'm in AA right now.
Yeah, I'm in AA.
Yeah,
I'm a vegan and I'm
yeah,
on the Ironman
exactly.
triathlon.
Yeah,
This week.
exactly. So, it's, again, it's not about us. It's
Yeah.
about who is a client and, what is it? The way I brand for companies is I brand it by the ribbon. I have your logo and your company name printed on ribbon, and then the ribbon is attached to the outside. So that's the way I brand for my customers. And they love it. And the customers love it because they're like, this is so cool to have your logo on this ribbon. But you open it up and it's in there that they love.
I'm curious as to if you were asked to suggest a gift that would be like a commemorative of a shared experience or of something that you want people to, have an ongoing positive memory of. What
Mhm.
kinds of things would you suggest in those situations?
Hmm. So we could, okay, so let's say you went with a partner, like you went to a game. Let's say they took you to a baseball game, creating a memory of that game, who played in it, who, maybe it was the team's favorite. Okay, I'm going to use the A's because I'm from California, or the Warriors. We're from California. My husband and I have been huge Warrior fans before they became so good. So we'll use the Warriors. Say he took you to the Warriors. And let's say to commemorate that, maybe get a jersey. You could frame the jersey. You could even get maybe the autograph on it, depending on what your budget was. We could even, you can do like a program of, or, something that like some of their memorabilia, if you knew that this person was such a huge fan, what's the memorabilia that they don't have? And let's find out what they don't have. And then let's see if that fits into your budget. Who's their favorite player? Do they have a book about them? Do they have, so that was kind of, it would be, again, asking the questions and, really finding out. But I would probably say, let's find a memorabilia that they don't have, that they really want inside your budget. And let's work around that. And let's create that gift around that. But that would be the center point of it.
How useful is social media for your research?
It's very, very useful. I'm on it a lot. Doing research. Yes.
You are.
Yes. Seeing trends, what are the trends going on? What do people enjoy, for their gifts? But I use it a lot. I'm on, Instagram, TikTok, just to kind of see what are people giving? And, I'm pretty much on point on what I'm doing. Yeah.
So one of the things that we can tell from what you've said here, Linda, is that thoughtful gift giving is something that can be fairly time consuming. Yes. And that's the biggest reason that people need to hire you.
Yes.
Is that, first of all, you're connected to really good gifts. And second of all, you have a way of doing it. You've got a nice system in place and you've got the research chops to do it. And you can help them get it done in a fraction of the time that they would spend themselves if they had to do it.
Yes.
If someone is looking for that kind of help, where do they need to go?
They can go out to my website, couturegifting.com, and they can put in the contact. That's a great way to get a hold of me. I'm on Instagram as Couture Gifting. And that's a great way. DM me there. Those two are probably the best way to get a hold of me. And then we can set up a time and, let's, create those gifts for you. I hear so many times, oh my gosh, I should have hired you. I thought this was going to be easy. My budget was $100. By the time I got done, between my time and what I bought, it was over $200. I'm all, yes. I go, and you're buying retail products. I don't buy retail. So it's, I can give you more for your bang and stuff. So yeah, people tell me that all the time. Oh my gosh, you think gifting isn't that big of a deal until you get into it. And then you want it to look nice. And then you have to buy a basket and, or a box. And I said, yes, there's a lot that goes into it that you don't realize it until you're in the middle of it. And you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Especially when you think, oh, I'll do all my gifts for all my clients. That'll be great. Until you realize you have 100 clients that you want to do gifts for, and you're up all night trying to get everything done. Whereas I have a system that I can, and you can just go on doing what you do best and what you love to do.
So once again, couturegifting.com.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Couture Gifting on Instagram and other social media channels. Mm-hmm. The last question that I have for you, Linda, is is it wise to gift during the holidays, or would you actually recommend that people gift off holidays?
I advise you gift off the holidays. There's nothing wrong with gifting on the holidays, but your gift gets lost with all the other competitors' gifts. You gift on that random Thursday of any month, no one else is doing it, guess whose gift's going to stand out and be remembered? I do a ton of gifts during the holidays, but I also try to teach my clients, let's gift other days. Let's gift on Memorial Day. Let's gift on 4th of July. Let's gift on Valentine's Day. Let's gift on those off holidays so that you can, people aren't expecting it. And what's more fun than to get something when you're not expecting it?
I love getting stuff all the time.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Particularly really nice Costa Rican coffee, finely ground in a fair trade mug.
Yes. There we go.
Any time of year is fine for that.
Yes. Yes. So yes, I do. And a lot of people just want to gift at the holidays, and I'm fine with that. Yeah. But I really do, try to suggest, hey, let's do this when, no one else is doing it.
Well, Linda, this has been a fun conversation.
Yes.
I love the ideas that you're bringing to the table, and I think it's an excellent direction for someone. It sounds like that enjoys the creativity and the thoughtfulness and finding meaningful ways to make connections with people. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's wonderful to talk with you. Folks, this is Linda Eskridge with Couture Gifting. Mm-hmm. And you've been listening to Your Own Best Company, a podcast for people who love working alone. And we are with you every Friday afternoon. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Your Own Best Company. If you enjoyed the show, would you do me a favor and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast host? If you really love it, leave me a review or share it with your circles. If you feel like your career is reaching a dead end, or you're feeling a deep sense of dissatisfaction in your work right now, I help people discover their gifts and then find or create new opportunities that are the best fit for their talent, experience, and lifestyle. Email me at coaching@franklintaggart.com for more information. I also help people start, finish, and launch creative projects, and I offer an ongoing marketing mastermind for solopreneurs and freelancers. More information on these programs and services can be found at franklintaggart.com. Thanks again for spending this time with me.